She walked into the courtroom smiling. But less than 1 hour later, that same woman would be crying in front of millions of people after Judge Judy said 7 words that completely destroyed her entire image. And the craziest part? At first, almost everyone in the courtroom was actually on her side, because when people hear the word influencer, they already expect arrogance, they expect entitlement, they expect drama. But this woman, she was different, or at least, that's what she wanted everyone to believe. 26-year-old Alexa Monroe had built an empire online by convincing millions of followers she was authentic, humble, inspirational. Every morning she posted motivational videos from luxury hotel balconies. Every afternoon she uploaded lifestyle content showing designer shopping trips, expensive restaurants, private events, and carefully edited moments of positivity. And every night she told her audience that kindness mattered more than money. That sentence is important, because sometimes the people who talk most about kindness are the people working hardest to hide who they really are. And trust me, by the end of this case, that mask was completely gone. The courtroom doors opened at exactly 10:07 a.m. Alexa walked in wearing an oversized cream blazer, diamond earrings, and sunglasses so expensive they probably cost more than some people's rent. But it wasn't the outfit people noticed first. It was the camera crew following her, not official media, her own team, 2 assistants, 1 photographer, and a social media manager carrying a laptop while whispering engagement statistics into Alexa's ear like they were discussing stock prices. Even Judge Judy paused for half a second when she saw them enter. Now right here, something psychologically fascinating happened. Alexa wasn't nervous, not even slightly. Most defendants entering Judge Judy's courtroom show at least some visible anxiety, fidgeting, tense posture, forced smiles. But Alexa, she looked excited. That matters, because excitement inside a courtroom usually means one of 2 things. Either someone genuinely believes they're innocent, or they think the courtroom itself is just another stage. And Alexa Monroe absolutely believed this was a stage. She waved at people in the audience, actually waved, like she was walking into a red carpet event instead of a legal proceeding. Several younger people in the gallery whispered her name excitedly. One even asked for a selfie before the bailiff shut it down immediately. Judge Judy watched all of it silently. And if you know anything about Judge Judy, you know silence is dangerous, especially her silence. Because Judge Judy doesn't immediately interrupt people when they're exposing themselves. She lets them keep talking, lets them get comfortable, lets them reveal exactly who they are. Alexa sat down confidently at the defendant's table and crossed her legs slowly, perfectly positioning herself toward the courtroom cameras. Not because she needed comfort, because she understood angles. Everything about her body language screamed performance. Now here's where things started getting strange. The plaintiff wasn't angry. Usually in these viral courtroom cases, the victim enters emotionally charged, upset, frustrated, ready for revenge. But 62-year-old Maria Gonzalez sat quietly beside her attorney with both hands folded in her lap. No dramatic expressions, no hatred, just exhaustion. And honestly, that made the entire situation feel worse. Maria looked like someone who had already spent months carrying pain nobody else could see. A retired school cafeteria worker, widowed, living alone. And according to the lawsuit, Alexa Monroe had completely destroyed her life during a charity event 6 months earlier. But nobody knew exactly how. Not yet. Judge Judy adjusted her glasses and opened the case file. The plaintiff claims emotional distress, defamation, financial damages, and medical hardship totaling $87,000. The courtroom immediately reacted. That number was huge for small claims television court. Alexa laughed softly under her breath, actually laughed, and Maria heard it. You could see the older woman's fingers tighten slightly together. Tiny detail, but emotionally devastating, because people who've suffered genuine humiliation often react quietly instead of loudly. Judge Judy noticed it too. And then, she looked directly at Alexa. Miss Monroe, Judge Judy said calmly, do you find this funny? Alexa smiled immediately, not apologetically, strategically. Classic influencer behavior, a carefully rehearsed expression designed to appear charming under pressure. No, Your Honor. I just think this whole thing has been exaggerated online. Exaggerated online. Interesting phrase. Notice what she didn't say. She didn't deny hurting Maria. She didn't deny the incident happened. She challenged a public reaction instead. That's a manipulation strategy called narrative reframing. Instead of debating guilt, you debate perception. Very effective online, very dangerous in court. Judge Judy leaned back slightly. What exactly was exaggerated? Alexa crossed her arms confidently. The internet twisted everything. People clipped videos out of context. They attacked me because I'm successful. Ah, there it was, victim positioning. Another classic tactic. And at this point, the courtroom started splitting emotionally. Some people rolled their eyes immediately, but others actually looked sympathetic, because fame changes how people process accountability. The more successful someone becomes, the easier it is for them to believe criticism equals persecution. Alexa had spent years surrounded by fans, sponsors, assistants, and followers constantly validating her behavior. And when human beings receive nonstop validation for too long, their relationship with reality starts changing. Judge Judy opened another folder slowly. "And your position?" she asked carefully. "Is that Mrs. Gonzalez lied about the entire incident?" Alexa didn't hesitate. "Yes." The word landed hard. Maria lowered her eyes instantly, and that reaction changed something in the room because it didn't look theatrical. It looked wounded. Judge Judy noticed that too. "What exactly did she lie about?" Alexa inhaled dramatically, like she'd been waiting for this moment. "She said I humiliated her publicly at the charity gala. She claimed I got her fired. She claimed my followers harassed her online afterward." Judge Judy nodded once. "And?" Alexa smirked slightly. "People need to stop blaming influencers for everything their followers do." The courtroom murmured again. But then Alexa said something that changed the atmosphere completely. "And honestly, rules don't apply the same way when millions of people are watching you." Silence. Real silence. Even the bailiff looked up, because everybody understood what she meant, not legally, psychologically. Alexa genuinely believed influence changed accountability. And here's the terrifying part. For most of her life online, she'd been right. Brands protected her. Fans defended her. Companies excused her behavior because she generated money. Over time, she stopped seeing consequences as real things. Consequences were for ordinary people, not people with followers, not people with blue verification badges and management teams. Judge Judy slowly removed her glasses. "That's never a good sign. You believe fame changes responsibility?" Alexa shrugged casually. "It changes reality." And the second she said that, Judge Judy's entire expression changed. Not anger, something worse, disappointment. Because there is nothing Judge Judy hates more than people who confuse privilege with immunity. The courtroom felt it instantly. The energy shifted. And then Judge Judy asked a question so simple. It almost sounded harmless. "Miss Monroe, what happened to Maria Gonzalez after your live stream ended?" Alexa froze just briefly, but long enough for everyone to notice, and suddenly for the very first time since entering that courtroom. Alexa Monroe looked nervous. Alexa's confidence didn't disappear all at once. That's not how ego collapses. It happens slowly. Tiny cracks first, a stiff jaw, a delayed response, eyes shifting instead of locking forward. And when Judge Judy asked what happened after the live stream, Alexa looked toward her attorney before answering. "Big mistake, because people telling the truth usually search their memory. People protecting themselves search the room." "I don't know exactly what happened afterward," Alexa said carefully. "I left the event." Judge Judy stared at her for 3 full seconds. No interruption, no reaction, just silence. And silence inside a courtroom is psychological pressure. The longer it lasts, the more uncomfortable dishonest people become. Finally, Judge Judy opened the case file again. "You left," she repeated calmly, "but your live stream continued for another 14 minutes. The courtroom shifted immediately. Alexa's attorney leaned forward slightly, not enough to interrupt, just enough to show concern. That tiny body movement mattered, because experienced attorneys don't react unless they know danger is coming. Alexa swallowed once. "It was handled by my media team." Media team, notice that wording again. No responsibility, no ownership, everything carefully redirected towards someone else. Judge Judy nodded slowly. "So your position is that you're not responsible for what happens on your own platform?" Alexa adjusted her blazer. And this is important. Her movements were becoming less polished now. Earlier, every gesture looked controlled, intentional. But stress exposes the real person underneath the performance. "I can't control millions of followers," she said defensively. "People make their own choices." Maria Gonzalez finally looked up, and for the first time, she spoke directly. "You told them my name." The room went quiet instantly. Her voice wasn't loud. That's what made it powerful. Sometimes pain whispered quietly hits harder than screaming ever could. Alexa rolled her eyes immediately. "Oh my God, it was public information." Judge Judy snapped her head upward. "Don't oh my God this courtroom." Alexa leaned back in her chair dramatically. And right there, Judge Judy saw something she absolutely despises: contempt. Not legal contempt. Emotional contempt, the kind that privileged people sometimes develop when they stop viewing ordinary people as equal to themselves. Maria's attorney stood carefully. "Your Honor, permission to present Exhibit C." Judge Judy nodded. A large monitor flickered on, and suddenly, courtroom saw the charity gala footage for the first time. Beautiful ballroom, crystal chandeliers, luxury donors everywhere. And right in the center of the room, Alexa Monroe, smiling into her phone camera. The live stream chat exploded beside her face as thousands of comments poured in every second. At first it looked harmless, typical influencer content. But then the camera angle shifted, and Maria Gonzalez appeared. Older woman, still black uniform, serving drinks quietly at the event. Judge Judy watched Alexa closely now instead of the screen. That's something smart judges do. They study reactions more than evidence sometimes. Because reactions reveal what evidence means emotionally. On screen, Alexa suddenly laughed. Oh my God, you guys, look at this. The courtroom became completely still. Alexa zoomed the camera toward Maria. Why does she look so angry? Mom, smile a little. It's a charity event, not a funeral. A few uncomfortable laughs echoed from the live stream recording. Maria lowered her eyes in the courtroom. But the video kept going. And honestly, this is where it started becoming disturbing. Alexa approached Maria while still streaming live. Guys, should we do a makeover on her? Alexa joked. Maybe we can get her some better makeup and a happier attitude. More comments flooded the screen, some laughing, some mocking, some cruel. And here's what made the moment psychologically ugly. Alexa wasn't trying to hurt Maria personally. Not initially. She was performing. That's the danger of influencer culture sometimes. When your brain gets addicted to engagement, human beings slowly become content, and content doesn't feel real anymore. Judge Judy noticed Alexa watching the screen now with irritation instead of guilt. Another bad sign, because remorse usually appears naturally when people rewatch harmful behavior. But Alexa looked annoyed about being judged, not ashamed of what she'd done. The video continued. Maria politely asked Alexa to stop filming, and Alexa laughed again. Oh, relax. My followers love authentic moments. Authentic moments. That phrase made Judge Judy visibly tense, because humiliation disguised as authenticity is still humiliation. Then came the moment that changed everything. Maria accidentally dropped a tray. Glasses shattered across the ballroom floor. People gasped, and Alexa, instead of helping, turned the camera directly toward Maria's face. Oh my God, guys, she's literally having a meltdown. The live stream comments exploded faster than before. Some comments mocked Maria's appearance. Others insulted her age. One message read, "Fire her immediately." Another, "She looks unstable." Another, "This is why old people shouldn't work events." Maria closed her eyes tightly in the courtroom as the comments flashed on screen. And suddenly the audience started understanding something horrifying. This wasn't just embarrassment. This was public destruction. Judge Judy's voice cut through the silence sharply. How many people watched this live stream live? Alexa crossed her arms. I don't know. Maybe 200,000? The courtroom erupted softly. 200,000. That's not humiliation anymore. That's mass humiliation. And psychologically, public shame at that scale can permanently damage someone emotionally. Judge Judy looked toward Maria. What happened after this video? Maria inhaled shakily, and when she spoke, her voice cracked so badly the courtroom almost couldn't hear her. I lost my job 3 days later. Silence. Heavy silence. Alexa immediately interrupted. That wasn't my fault. Too fast. Way too fast. That reaction exposed panic. Judge Judy noticed instantly. Maria continued quietly. The hotel said guests complained after the video went viral. People started calling me names online. Someone found my Facebook page. My address got posted. Several people in the courtroom physically shifted uncomfortably because now the case felt darker, much darker. Judge Judy narrowed her eyes at Alexa. And you did nothing to stop this. Alexa threw her hands upward dramatically. What was I supposed to do? Control the entire internet. Another manipulation tactic, exaggeration to avoid responsibility. Nobody asked if she could control the internet. The real question was whether she tried to stop the damage. And deep down, everyone in that courtroom already knew the answer. Judge Judy flipped another page. Then she asked one sentence that changed Alexa's face completely. Miss Monroe, did you profit from that live stream? And instantly, confident influencers stopped breathing for half a second. Because she knew exactly where this was going. Alexa Monroe had spent years mastering one skill above all others. Control the camera angle, control the lighting, control the narrative, control how millions of strangers perceived her every single day. But now, for the first time in a very long time, she was losing control of the room, and she hated it. You could see it happening in real time, her jaw tightening, her fingers tapping nervously against the table, that polished influencer smile slowly disappearing every time Judge Judy spoke. Because courtroom pressure is different from internet pressure. Online, Alexa could delete comments, berate criticism, turn off replies. But here, nothing could be edited. Judge Judy repeated the question slowly. Did you profit from that live stream? Alexa exhaled sharply. A little. Judge Judy leaned forward. How much is a little? Alexa hesitated again. Another dangerous pause. About $40,000. The courtroom exploded. People actually turned toward each other in disbelief. Maria closed her eyes immediately, and honestly, that reaction hurt more than crying would have, because it looked like confirmation. Confirmation that her humiliation had become someone else's business strategy. Judge Judy didn't blink. You earned $40,000 from a live stream where an elderly worker was publicly mocked by your audience. Alexa raised her voice quickly. That's not fair. Brands paid for engagement, not bullying. There it was again, separation of action from consequence, one of the oldest defense mechanisms in modern influencer culture. Judge Judy's expression hardened, but the bullying created the engagement. And suddenly, Alexa had no immediate response. That moment mattered because narcissistic personalities often rely on momentum in arguments, confidence, speed, redirection. But when forced into direct moral accountability, they freeze. And at this point, the courtroom could feel something shifting emotionally. Alexa no longer looked powerful. She looked cornered. Maria's attorney stepped forward carefully. Your Honor, we also obtained internal emails from Miss Monroe's management agency. Alexa's attorney immediately stood. Objection. Judge Judy didn't even look at him. Overruled. That quick, that cold. And now Alexa looked genuinely afraid for the first time. The attorney placed printed documents onto the evidence table. Judge Judy began reading silently. The courtroom waited. And this is where tension becomes unbearable in real courtroom drama. Not during yelling, during silence, because silence lets imagination work. Finally, Judge Judy looked up slowly. These emails were sent the morning after the live stream. Alexa shifted uncomfortably. Judge Judy continued reading aloud. Audience retention spiked after the Waitress incident. Clip the breakdown moment for TikTok reposts. The courtroom gasped loudly. Maria stared downward. Judge Judy kept reading. Negative controversy is driving engagement. Do not apologize yet. Another silence, heavier this time, because now the case wasn't about carelessness anymore. Now it looked strategic, calculated, and psychologically, that changes how humans process wrongdoing. People can forgive mistakes. They struggle to forgive exploitation. Alexa's attorney quickly intervened. Your Honor, my client did not personally write those emails. Smart defense strategy. Distance the defendant from direct intent, but Judge Judy saw through it immediately. Was she aware of them? Alexa answered quietly now. Yes. And did you stop your team from reposting the clips? No. Did you issue any statement defending Mrs. Gonzalez? No. Did you contact her privately to apologize? No. Each answer sounded weaker than the last, like bricks collapsing one at a time. Judge Judy leaned back slowly. And if you've ever watched courtroom psychology carefully, you know this phase is devastating. Because Judge Judy wasn't attacking Alexa emotionally anymore. She was dismantling her piece by piece using her own admissions. No shouting needed. Just facts. And facts are brutal when someone's entire public image depends on illusion. Maria suddenly spoke again, very softly. My grandson saw the video. Alexa froze instantly. The older woman's hands trembled slightly in her lap. He's 11 years old. Kids at school started showing him clips of me online. The courtroom became painfully quiet. He asked me why strangers hated me. Alexa looked downward immediately. Not out of guilt. Out of discomfort. There's a difference. Guilt focuses on the victim. Discomfort focuses on yourself. Judge Judy noticed it too. Maria continued shakily. He stopped going to school for 3 days because kids kept calling his grandmother the crazy waitress lady. A woman in the audience quietly covered her mouth. Someone else whispered, "That's awful." And honestly, this was the moment public opinion completely turned, because now the damage felt human, not viral, not online. Human. An innocent child carrying humiliation into school hallways because adults wanted entertainment. Judge Judy stared directly at Alexa now. Did your followers know her identity before your live stream? Alexa answered quietly. No, and afterward, yes. So your content directly exposed her to mass harassment. Alexa snapped suddenly. I didn't tell people to harass her. There it was. Panic mixed with anger. Classic defensive collapse. Judge Judy raised one eyebrow. You monetized it. Silence. Another devastating silence. Alexa's breathing became visibly faster now, and this is important psychologically. People who build identities around admiration often experience criticism like physical danger, because their self-worth becomes dependent on external validation. The second public approval disappears. Their emotional stability collapses with it. Judge Judy opened another folder. This case gets worse. The entire courtroom looked up instantly, because if this already wasn't the worst part, what possibly could be? Judge Judy held up several printed screenshots. 3 days after the live stream, Your official account uploaded a merchandise promotion using clips from the incident. Maria's attorney placed the images onto the courtroom monitor, and the second they appeared, people audibly gasped. T-shirts, coffee tea mugs, cases. All using viral quotes from the live stream. One shirt literally read, "Smile more, it's a charity event." The same sentence Alexa had mocked Maria with publicly, and suddenly, Courtroom didn't just see arrogance anymore. They saw cruelty, commercialized cruelty. Judge Judy's face became unreadable. That's always dangerous, because the angrier Judge Judy gets, calmer she becomes. Alexa's voice cracked immediately. That wasn't supposed to happen. Judge Judy looked directly into her eyes, but it did. And then, Maria's attorney revealed one final piece of evidence that made even Alexa's own lawyer slowly lower his head. A private voice memo, remarked it accidentally, sent from Alexa to her management team the night after the live stream. Judge Judy pressed play. Alexa's recorded voice filled the courtroom speakers. "If this old lady thing keeps trending, push it harder. People love drama. And honestly, rules don't apply to people like us anyway." The courtroom froze. Nobody moved, nobody breathed. And for the very first time since entering court, Alexa Monroe looked completely terrified. "Do you want me to continue to the next part?"